spirit of America, which is the spirit of freedom and justice and opportunity and great, great victory. And so thank you for knowing who you are today as an American, as someone who chose to be free, to be in these seats, to be where you are, and to care about freedom, to care about our world enough to come and spend your time, which in some ways you might say is God's time, to spend our time together to bless America and to bless freedom and get to know each other and bring community back to Mount Shasta, where we really need that community, because that's who we are. We're communal beings. We're not in this alone. We don't have to fight the daily battles alone. We're really one body of Christ. We're one body of God. And this is a free nation, and religion is free, but it's going to be one nation under God no matter what. Nothing can change that. It's one nation under God. So let's get in alignment with God's will, which we're not going to have to read how to do. We're just going to tune in right now to our hearts and feel good about where we're at right now. You know, we're perfectly in alignment with God's will. And this is a learning experience. We're here. This is a new movement. This movement began, the first meeting ever. I have the poster in front of me. I just grabbed it. It's Saturday. It's over a year now. January 15th was our first meeting. We did it at the Jefferson Center for the Arts. And now, this year in 2023, we're up to once every 2 weeks. Not only that, we have excellent music, great band, and really wonderful speakers, performers. We also have U.W.S, so groups that are going to meet to come to receive and co-create solutions for the day-to-day opportunities for growth, abundance, and the kind of world and city and town and state and nation we really want to live in, or choosing to live in, which is a nation that freedom is the basis of the nation. It really is. It's the basis. Because why? Because we're made in his image. We're made in God's image. So we're free. We really are free, and that's beautiful. So thank you, fellow image bearers, for being here today. And we're going to start out with just a little question, which is, what is one positive benefit, or what is one benefit of having a positive attitude, just a positive outlook? Is there a benefit you could think of, just in a word or two or three? We'll try to do it. We'll try to quickly see if you could be inspired. One benefit of just having a positive outlook in your life, and for America too. Just positive. So for me, I'll start. You got one already, Dave? We can start with you. Just an example. I'm going to go with health. Okay.
I was just going to say a good attitude helps us open up to the Holy Spirit to bless us and everybody else.
You say your name as well.
David.
Sharonda, you attract what you put out.
James, community.
Natalia, the law of attraction.
Bodhi, peace of mind.
Good brain chemistry, Michael.
Mary, it moves us into our future that is also positive then.
Janine, harmony.
Steve, it's a confirmation of faith.
Chris, a positive outlook helps us with okay, that's
a positive outlook helps us to have trust that providence is moving us in the right direction, personally and collectively. Oh, Kelly.
Jewel, positive outlook brings me joy.
Jared, it raises our frequency.
Lynn, health and healing brought me healing today.
Excellent.
Well, a positive attitude is like a magnet that magnetizes more of the same, and it grows.
Michael,
a positive attitude, we can praise God, and that will bring His blessings and pour His blessings out on us like a river.
Linda, it positions us to change everything that needs to be changed. Like Jesus said, believe and you'll see.
Terry, radiant smiles.
Sean, and it would help us to move through difficult times with grace and ease.
Michael, and with an air of expectancy, it's the magnet that draws the best of the universe to you.
Valerie, as it raises us up, it raises everybody around us up also.
Sheridan, a smile on my face with hope because I know it's coming back to me.
And Linda, I believe that's faith, and that brings us abundance, prosperity, love, joy, peace, everything we need.
The question, David, is what's one attribute or quality that having a positive attitude brings into your life?
Abundance.
Right. And?
A positive outlook helps with everything that everyone said, please.
Excellent. We already did. I'm glad we waited for the finals. Okay. So, without too much further ado from me, we're going to light our candle. Why? Because the freedom flame, the Holy Spirit is a fire. And so the living flame comes with us and within us. As we light the sacred flame, we're not going to just ignore it. It's actually part. It's one of us. It's joining here with us, the sacred flame. Kelly, would you like to come up and Jewel? We do the freedom and light the candle. So we'll give three. Oh, no, yeah, we'll just do one, I guess. Freedom. Okay. Let's do three. Together. Freedom. Nobody smokes anymore. That's good. Okay. Are we serious? Okay. Yeah, right? We have a healthy crowd here in Mount Shasta. That's for sure. Okay. Take it. I'll do the car. Oh, we got one. All right. We got a lighter. Thank you, Mr. Bodhi. You want to come here and light it? Okay, so we're going to have... Oh, thanks, Bodhi. Appreciate it. Okay. And we have a final freedom to go. Yeah. Freedom. Sacred flame is with us on this beautiful beeswax American candle. All right. Thank you. And the bee is actually one of our symbols here in Mount Shasta. And we actually have one of the reasons for that, beekeeper in the house, Robert Beeze, speaking today. Beeze speaking today as well. So kind of a neat time. And we're going to now have a prayer where we all can give it, the Lord's Prayer. Let's go to version 2. And we have a couple on the website. So if you'd like to join me in giving this, you're welcome to. And really remembering, as above, so below. What is in heaven, let's bring it down here. Let's live it together. Our Father, Mother, God, hallowed be thy name. We honor your presence, the I am within us. In oneness with you, we vow to be your kingdom come and your will being done. Give us today the needs of the hour, and forgive us as we forgive all life. Lead us away from the snares of the human ego, and deliver us from any sense of separation from you. We accept that the earth is the kingdom of your power and glory. As above, so below. Amen. And we have the United We Stand America band stand coming up today. So we'll start out with a couple of singers, and we're going to be tuning in. Jewel, maybe you want to give us a context for today's meeting, and then we'll get into that. And the band is welcome to come up now.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about, I was going to talk about that. Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming. Michael and I did a men and women study, and we had a thing called context, purpose, result. So CPR. We start with the results, and some of the results we want from this meeting for you, and you have your own results, is we want you to feel uplifted. We want you to feel community. We want you to learn something. We want you to feel the freedom when we get together. And we want you to enjoy the band, sing, express yourself, and we want you to leave feeling filled up. And the purpose of that, the overlying purpose, is that we want to create a movement across America that begins in the local chapters that will spread like wildfire across this country and across the nations. As one of the songs you're going to hear, Rising in the Nations, we're going to hear the sound of freedom. And it's starting here at the foot of this sacred mountain. So the purpose is to begin that freedom instead of feeling like we've been under a battle, to build that freedom. And the context is a hard one. I had to look it up lots of times what context means. But the context is like the space holder. So freedom rising. Freedom rising, not gonna sometime in the future with the prophecy, and the many prophecies. Now. Freedom rising now. Claim it, as you all said, positive attitude, positive statements. Freedom is rising now. We're not going to wait for some politician to fix it, okay?
Wonderful. And here we go. We can all rise for the national anthem, Star Spangled Banner. When the smoke cleared, the flag was still there, and it is still there, and it will stay standing true.
I feel humbled before all of you because I am a Brit, but I'm also an American citizen. Under Trump, 2019. Wow. Under 2018, anyway. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Woo, good job.
Go. Progressive revelation, right? Always. And never looking back. Don't turn into a pillar of salt. So Ask and you shall receive. I asked, I wonder if you'd give me a freedom song as I was walking my dogs. And this came in. And I sang it all the way home until I got to my iPhone. And now I have a band around me. So this, we sang it 2 weeks ago, a cappella now, and it's called Freedom Rise. And we feel like it is kind of the anthem for United We Stand. It definitely was delivered from the divine. We don't write songs, we receive them. They're delivered. So here it is. And this is your song too. Freedom rise from the hopeless ashes. Freedom rise in the hearts of the free. As we stand holding up our banners, shine the light and watch the darkness flee. Freedom rise from the sacred ashes. Freedom rise in the hearts of the free. As we stand holding up our banners, shine the light and watch the darkness flee. Oh, my Lord, listen to our prayer. Oh, my Lord, your love is everywhere. Guide us to that wide open shore where we'll watch the parting of the sea. Freedom rise, rising in the nations. Freedom rise in the hearts of the brave and free. As we stand holding up our banners, shine your light and watch the darkness flee. America, as we stand holding up our banners, shine the light and watch the darkness flee. As we stand holding up our banners, shine the light and watch the darkness flee. As we stand holding up our banners, shine the light and watch the darkness
Woo! Amen.
It's amazing to have a band. And a lot of these are actually the gathering worship team, a few of them. So actually 3 of them, and I was, and Linda, we're very, very blessed to have her. So thank you guys.
Woohoo! Round of applause. All right. Thanks, everybody. So we're going to be later on the next songs. And, yeah, world debut from the band. Banners waving. We'll get the flag waving next time. We want you to wave your banners when that song is being played. And you're going to have a lot of banners being waved. I've seen the vision. So it's an exciting time to be right now. Right, well, we're going to have some good news. So we're still looking for our leader of the good news team. You don't have to lead it every time, but we want to know who feels inspired to lead the good news. I'm going to lead it again today, though. So if you have any good news, we want to hear about it. It can be political, or it can be, we have a surprise coming today, I believe, that's political. You might enjoy that. Kind of neat. That'll be surprising, though. And then we, any good news, it can be just about your life. Did you graduate from something? Got your snow off your driveway really easy last time it snowed? I don't know, whatever it is. Give us some good news. Anybody got something? You got some good news here. What's going on? Jill? You can come up here, or I can come down to you.
I'm going to jump in at the deep end in terms of, okay, so it's a process, but honestly, watching the hearings, the committee of looking into weaponizing the federal government is, I'm just super impressed with the women, actually, Marjorie and Mrs. Luna. Oh my God, and and Carrie Lake. Just the women are amazing, but I'm glad Jim Jordan didn't take the speaker job because he was supposed to be head of this committee. And, you know, we're all waiting for things to level out, but honestly, watch him. If you can watch Anby No, or, you know, just watch a little bit, he'll round it up for you. But wow, these guys at Pfizer, they're under siege after their little Grammy thing that nobody watched, but we all saw the silliness. They're just exposing themselves, but boy, they are having to account now. They're under siege. They're going to have to face whatever's coming. So I'm impressed so far. Of course, we know we want to see the people behind the scenes. I know these guys are just the front guys, but hey, it's accountability. And the Twitter files, whoever Elon is, and we're not sure about him either, he definitely released those. So they have evidence. So they can't say, no, I don't know. They're saying yes or no, because we know. That's good news.
Excellent news. Yes, trust, what is it? Trust the plan. And I like to change the word the. Trust God's plan. We don't know what it is, though, right? We might think we know. Oh, look at that. That's the good guy. We don't know. But we know we can trust God's plan. That's a fact. That's right. And we're a part of that plan, by the way. You in this seat is a part of that. You have part of the plan that only you have. I have a part that only we all have a part that only we have. And this plan isn't going to be the same without each one of our parts, right? That's America. It's United We Stand America. So anybody else got something they want to mention? Good news or share or offer? Okay. Sheridan, I'll come up to you.
Our illustrious governor lost his battle in the courts to mandate vaccines for all school children. That puts a smile on my face.
Yes, the children, don't mess with the children. There's a price to pay. And it's not one that, I think it's a biblical thing. Better to be thrown in a lake with a stone around the neck, meaning dead, than mess with the children. Don't mess with California children. This is a free state. It's one nation under God. Please, California or any other state, or any around the world. It's a universal teaching. We appreciate that. Thank you. Anybody else? One more good news here? All right, Michael, you can come up. And I am getting a phone call that might be part of our surprise. We have the good news here, too, so we'll see.
Well, the Chinese balloon showed all the people who the current government works for. They shot it down after it had done all its work, shot it down over the ocean so most of the stuff could not be retrieved. And all of that is exposed to the people. And anybody that doesn't get it after that, I wouldn't pay any attention to them anyway. They're a lost cause. So I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah. Over here, so you're on the camera. Okay, one detail. It's Epic Times here it goes. The St. Louis Transgender Clinic has gone through like a huge exposure. Everything with the drugs and the side effect from the drugs and everything, messing with the kids and bypassing parents. It's just, and that's just one thing. What's going on now is just like, it's like trash trucks, you know, that have just spilled and jackknifed all over the freeway. And so all we see is like this mess, but actually it's all being exposed so it can all be cleaned up. And there's a Bible verse for that. It says that God is shaking every mountain so that we can receive a kingdom that cannot be shaken. So all these strongholds in the world are like mountains, whether it's the media or government or you name it, academia, it's all being shaken. Everything that can be shaken is being shaken, and it's wonderful.
Thank you. Okay, so right now, kind of some bad news. There are people in prison in Washington, D.C. They're in prison because they were called to go to a Trump kind of rally of some sort. He said, everybody come down here. I remember him saying it. He told them all to come down there. I remember that, actually, because he told me to come down. He said, everybody who supports me, come down. He said that. So then he talked, and then I don't know if he sent them or who sent them, but they were told to go towards the Capitol. So they did. Then, you know, this is in courts and all the legalese and all that, but somehow the gates, look, watch the videos. The fences are removed, and they're like, go in there, go in there. Booby trap. It's called a booby trap, obviously, okay? It's a booby trap. So they go in there, because don't go in there next time. It's called a booby trap. But anyway, they went in there, and a lot of them are in jail right now, okay? They didn't break anything as far as I know. Most of them, they just kind of walked in, and they kind of like looked around, took pictures. One of them put a feet on the desk. I think he got like many years for that, okay? So that's what happened. And these people are in jail right now. Pardon me? Okay, so who got shot? Tell us her name.
Ashley Babbit.
Ashley Babbit got shot. She died, right? So her mom's name is Micki Babbit. Did I say that right? Micki Babbit? Okay, we're going to call her. We're going to call her right now. Micki Babbit. This is Ashley Babbitt's mom. So she's in Washington, D.C. They have nightly vigils for the people that are in prison right now. They have nightly vigils. And it's going through quite a bit of court, that kind of thing. We'll be for a message. We'll be for a message. So the prisoners themselves call into the vigil. They have 10 minutes each to talk. And so we may talk to one of them today. We may talk to them. Micki, this is Michael Purity with United We Stand America. We're at a live event in Mount Shasta, California. Welcome to visit sometime, by the way. And we'd love to talk to you. I hear you just called me. So this is my number. Please give us a call, and we'll have you offer what's going on over there. Thank you. All right, so that's good news because you know why? We're not just going to let people sit there, not do anything about it. We're going to bring some light to this situation, right? If we don't shine our light on the darkness, what are we doing? We've got to shine our light on the hill, right? So let's find out what's going on over there. Let's just be clear about it. And they're going to tell us something or two. Pardon? My ringer, yeah. So, David, let's have our constitutional study, and we're going to do a short one today. Thanks for coming up here.
Thank you, Michael. Thanks, everybody. So I was going to speak a little about the First Amendment. So the First Amendment, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or of the right of the people to peacefully to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Amazing. Most countries, I think, all the other countries don't have it to that degree. Even progressive countries like Sweden don't have it at that level. That's why there's some trouble on that. America is way beyond what a lot of people think. They think it's we're just being nationalists, and it has to do with it's actually. I was talking to a friend the other day, and he says, "Well, we won't have any countries, and maybe that will be true someday, but the country represents universal freedom. So if you get rid of America, it's basically all the other countries are saying that are on the right close to losing their freedom." So I think I talked to a few of you people about this. I made an acronym to remember that First Amendment. It's basically 5 parts, in the order starting with religion. And they felt that was so important, and freedom of speech second, and what they're way up there. So I call it the Respect app. It's like Aretha Franklin with respect, you know. It's RSP, because you have AP. So you have religion, speech, press, assembly, and petition. It's very easy to remember like that. So it's helpful to have. I'm unprepared because I broke down last night. I wanted to do more detail to this. I just know that even the First Amendment, how does that influence the economics and poverty of the world? Well, you have individual innovativeness. Innovativeness comes under speech. Freedom to invent, to make a shirt, to have without the government every second, even though there's a lot of things we need to clean up in our beautiful country. There's this freedom to, world poverty went down 80% in the last 30 or 40 years, 80%. Fact. There's a guy named Arthur Brooks that does a TED Talk. It's well recommended that you see that. It's like a 15 or 17-minute talk. So anyway, I'm going off subject now. That's about all I have for now, because I just wanted to say that the United States is way beyond what people think, and a lot of people think, oh, you're nationalist or whatever. That's like, it's really preserving universal freedom on our planet, basically. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David. Yeah, if we don't take care of ourselves, who are we going to take care of, right? We got to take care of ourselves first. So this nation, caring about this nation does not mean not caring about other nations. It actually means we do care enough to take care of our own business. Meaning love our neighbor as ourselves. Love every nation. Love them as they are. And the idea of a better, profound future by destroying the nations and making a global government, let's look at who runs the big organizations and the big banks. Are they filled with love in their hearts based on how you see the corporations acting and how we see it in other nations? Of course not. We're always on the brink of war and all these very destructive things around the world, okay? So we don't need that. What we need to do is take care of ourselves at home, and then we can help others from that perspective. So thank you. All right, well, we're going to call now Micki. Hello, Micki. This is Michael with United We Stand America. How are you today?
I'm good, Michael. How are you?
Very good, thank you. I'm glad to hear you're doing well. Now, you lost your daughter on January 6th, and we want to know more about what's going on right now. Where are you, and what's taking place?
Well, I'm in Washington, D.C., and we've been holding a vigil outside the D.C. jail since August 1st. It's a vigil to draw attention to the political prisoners that are still in jail behind the day of January 6th. My daughter was murdered, and there's been no real investigation. The January 6th committee was just a show for the American people. We have people that are in the D.C. jail over 700 days without even a bond hearing, in deplorable conditions, solitary confinement. They don't eat well, and they don't have a proper day in court because D.C. is actually named as the victim of January 6th, and getting a fair jury pool in a city that is named as a victim is an impossible thing to do. These are 95% Biden voters, and they don't like Trump supporters, and the term insurrection is thrown around. The judges have biased opinions against the January 6th demonstrators, you know, and even if you don't believe in what these American citizens were there protesting, the right to protest absolutely has to be upheld in this country. And they have plans to arrest, people every day. They're still going after people. They're trying to reach that 3,000 arrest count. A lot of people think that my daughter is the only American to die that day, but 4 unarmed American citizens were killed at the hands of the Capitol or Metropolitan Police. Roseanne Boylan was beaten to death by Metropolitan Police Officer Leila Morris. We have footage of that. Kevin Greason was hit with a flashbang grenade, and his official cause of death was a heart attack. Benjamin Phillips also died of a heart attack induced by chemical sprays and flashbang grenades. And we believe Officer Brian Sicknick died at the hands of the neglect from the Capitol Police because he had a stroke and they didn't render him aid.
And do you know approximately how many men and or women are in prison right now? And also, what are they saying about the way they've been treated in jail?
We have like 16 facilities that J6 defendants are held in throughout the country. There are still 20 here in Washington, D.C. There are several jails. Northern Neck facility is the one with the worst treatment of these people, and it's just such a corrupt system. The Patriots in Northern Neck are an activated group of citizens. We still have pockets of people in this country that love this country and want to do the right thing, and we need to stand up and do what we can at local levels and call your representatives, remind them who they work for. We've been sitting in, when we first got to D.C., the congressional offices were closed down and you couldn't get in, but since the Republicans took over the House, they opened it back up, and we have been in the halls and offices of our congressmen, sitting in on the Twitter committee hearings and the weaponization of the government against the American people. We met with Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Troy Nels has finally gotten visitation for these men in jail. So we have congressmen that are taking notice and we feel will take action, and we're very hopeful for results in the near future.
Okay, and maybe just let us know how many of you are approximately at the vigils, and where can we follow what you're doing and or join if we wanted to, or lend some support? How would you suggest that?
Well, we have a group of Patriots on the corner every night. We also have live streamers that put this out. We have over 3 million watched hours. If anybody wants to watch live, they can watch at freedomexpressmedia.com to see our vigil that we live stream every night. And we are currently a small group. We have a small team of people that we spread out. We go to federal trials during the day or the congressional halls, and then we're at this vigil every night. To support us, well, you can follow along on 4ashley.com. It's the number 4, Ashley, ASHLI.com.
Thank you. I'd like to just take this opportunity to send a prayer. Jewel, my beautiful wife, would like to say something.
Micki, I'm really appreciative that you're here, and I want you to know, ever since this happened, myself and probably everyone in this room has been, these people in prison, they have not been forgotten. I know they're discouraged, and I know they feel they've been abandoned, but there is a lot of us in this country that feel the pain in our heart every single day and pray for these prisoners. So if we can do more, but we are definitely praying for them every single day. And please tell them they are not alone. We are loving them and sending them and thanking them for their sacrifice and feeling pain for them, actually, in my heart. So I want them to know they are not abandoned.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I would also like to say that we appreciate the prayers of the American people. We can absolutely feel the prayers of the American people. If people would like to write these men, they can find the names and addresses of detained individuals and people that are also on home detention at Patriot Mail Project. And also, we sing these men inside the D.C. jail still sing the national anthem at 9 p.m. Eastern every single night because they're still patriotic individuals, even though this country has treated them horribly. And we're here on what we have called #Freedom Corner to sing with them. So anybody in America that or whoever, wherever in the world that wants to sing with these men at 9 p.m. Eastern time, know that we're here. We're here on Freedom Corner singing with you, and they are singing live over our live stream with us. So that's one way to support us, and you can post that on hashtag. Say it, Sing for Freedom. Hashtag Sing for Freedom.
Sing the number 4 freedom.
Sing the number 4 freedom. That was Nicole Reffitt. She's the wife of one of the political prisoners.
Oh, okay. And are they actually calling? They have 10 minutes of call time a day. Is that right? Do you think one of them would want to talk to us here at some point?
You know what? I will pass. I will absolutely. They can speak to you, and I'm not sure of the live stream. Sorry, we just got to the vigil. We're unloading, getting ready to start our vigil. But yes, I will pass your number on to them, and they can call you directly, and you can set up something with them.
Okay, that sounds great, because we want to follow up. You know, there is this saying, it's called "Where we go one, we go all." I don't think it's a joke. I don't think it means nothing. I think it means everything. And there's many people right now behind bars because they care about their country. And as far as I know, most of them didn't do anything violent or anything destructive, actually. They walked into a building and were part of a protest, and now they're still in prison without trial. And according to the Bill of Rights, as far as I've read them, that doesn't really qualify. It doesn't qualify under the Constitution of the United States of America, which is the law of the land, which every American should know by now. So what's going on here? Government, judiciary system?
Question, and you know, as far as the violence goes, we are not. It's not our position that everybody there that day was a Boy Scout. There was some bad behavior on behalf of American citizens, and a lot of bad behavior on behalf of the Capitol Police, the Metropolitan Police, and other actors in our government. So we need a full investigation into who was doing what that day and why. Also, you know, some of these men that are sitting in jail with assault on police officer charges it's because they were trying to save the life of Roseanne Boylan, who, as I mentioned before, was the woman that was beaten by Officer Leila Morris. And so, you know, when it's a human duty to prevent murder when you're witnessing it, even if the perpetrator is wearing a uniform. So we have up to a dozen men that have assault on police officer charges behind trying to save Roseanne Boylan's life. We also have just recently Victoria White, who is the woman that was beaten in the tunnel almost to death. And they have charged her with assault on police officers. My daughter was, there was a doctor trying to render my daughter aid, and he was pulled off of her. And in his scuffle to get back to my daughter and try to keep her from bleeding to death on the floor, has now been charged for his part in trying to save my daughter's life.
Well, that's a travesty, and you know, clearly, if we see someone who is being beaten and may die for no good reason, then we have a duty to stop that. So we want to thank those men and women for doing their part, but at the same time, like you said, there are things that happen that day. We don't know what. I certainly don't know what. But what we would definitely want to see in every case is a fair and just trial. Trial by jury is part of the American right as well. And it should be expedient trial and a just one. That's part of the Bill of Rights. So I appreciate your time today. We're going to have a song now for freedom, and we're going to send you guys some prayers as well. So I like to pray, so I think I'll send you all prayer, and if you want to join me in that, you can. But let's just say in the name of American freedom, one nation under God, in the name of Christ, we call forth the light of Archangel Michael and Jesus Christ to bring justice to this great nation for his divine purpose and design, that each and every sacrifice, man, woman, and child who was a martyr to some degree or another for freedom in this country back in 1770s, all the way through to today, including Ashley Babbit, that we ask for the future of this country to be free because of those sacrifices, that people to be inspired and fired up to stand for truth, freedom, justice, in a great nation who cares about every man, woman, and child, regardless of race, ethnicity, creed, or religion, but really just cares about them because they're an American. And we thank you for your sacrifice as a mother of someone who lost their life that day. And we do ask for the spirit of freedom to blaze forth and bring justice, which is also justice, right now, an opportunity for every American and for those in the governance in any way, shape, or form, or in the law enforcement or the military. We ask for your heart flame to open up so that you choose life, and you choose justice, and you choose to honor your oath to the Constitution of the United States of America, and when it is broken just because the media thinks it's okay, and just because people are believing what the media says, it doesn't make it okay. It's not okay. And what's important is to stand as a separate and chosen people. So please remember to choose life, and we will choose your life too. We love you, we love you, we love you. Those who choose life, we love you. Let everyone choose life. Thank you. Thank you very much. Micki.
Talking to you guys in the future. Thank you very much.
You got it, Micki. Thank you. All right, we're going to have that freedom song now. You can stay out and go hear a freedom song. Thank you. That was a surprise. That was our surprise. I got the call right before. I said, "Do you want to talk to Micki Babbit?" I said, "Let's do it." And you know what? God is in charge of this. So let's go with the now. And when you get an inspiration, call me or bring it forward to somebody else. Let's make it happen, because that's how this thing's working here. Okay? Appreciate that. This song is for freedom, and it's a good time to tune in and really care about those people who are not free right now and care about freedom.
Okay. Yeah, I wrote this song in Mount Shasta about 15 years ago when I started to understand what was going on in the world and in this country. Because we all know that that we're the white hats. They're not coming to save us. And the sovereignty and freedom is our natural-born human right. So when I say freedom, then you say... When I say freedom, you say... Freedom! Right, that's right. Do I have the soul of a free man, or the soul of a slave? Will I be satisfied with my life as I lead it when I go to the grave? Will I search for the truth now? Will I walk it when I find it? Will I teach my children to do the same, or will I try to hide it? Freedom, 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 freedom. Do I understand the Constitution? Do I know the Bill of Rights? Is my natural-born human freedom something for which I have to fight? I said, who gave the government permission to determine the course of my life? I can feel a change breaking through the darkness. We're guided by an ancient light. I said freedom, talking about freedom. Freedom, talking about freedom. Now I appreciate the opportunities this country gives me every day. I have so many choices. With gratitude I greet each day, and I listen to the world around me. Still I hear a choir of hungry voices. But if I am to make a change, I must start deep inside. And as I progress along the road, I realize there's nowhere to hide. I said freedom. I'm talking about freedom. I'm freedom. Talking about freedom. Yeah, it's getting beat it up, feel it up, speed it up, and better go. Shop, but you can talk, whip up, get it up, skeet it up, boodle, ba ba. Get rid of all the motherfuckers out of freedom. We're talking about freedom. We're talking about freedom. Talking about freedom. Freedom, 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 yeah, freedom. Talking about freedom. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Freedom!
Singing about freedom. Singing about freedom around here. I love it. Look at that. You know, if you're inspired to step up, someone's already mentioned today, I got something. If you got something, let us know, because that's what this is about. Somebody lets us know they got something. Look what they got. That's great. Thank you very much, Bodhi. We appreciate you in Mount Shasta. That's a new addition, past year or so or something like that, and wonderful to have your music here. Okay. We're grateful.
Just to sum up what some of the things that have been going on, and we've been asking for freedom. In the Bible, Moses, an 80-year-old man, with his brother, goes up to an 83-year-old man. They go up to Pharaoh, who thinks he's God. He has a terrible God complex. And everybody in Egypt pretends he's God at least. And they say one thing to him. They don't ask him, let my people go. They demand of him, let my people go. And we say right now for all of those in jail falsely accused, let my people go now!
Amen. And as I was teaching a class this morning, I have a couple of friends of the Jewish faith, and they said today is the day they received the Torah, and they received the commandments from Moses. So we've heard a lot of that, and it's in the Freedom Rise song, The Parting of the Sea. That's what they delivered. We're going to see the parting of a sea. We're not going to wait for it. We're going to see it. So today is that day. Whether you're in tune with that testament, it was the day that they received it. And so he had a big mission. You know, he had like hundreds of thousands of people under his command, and they were all homeless. Can you imagine having a bunch of people that were just like bitching and whining and where are we going to eat and where are we going to stop? So blessings to that kind of leadership and that kind of authority under God. I know he split it up into the tribes and they self-governed, but they did behave badly, and they all got bitten by serpents for a while. So, you know, we are self-governing, and I think that story is really good for us in terms of, are we going to wait for Moses or some outside person to fix everything, or are we going to govern ourselves and behave in a good way? And that's the lessons from them. So that's today. So thank you for mentioning that.
Divinely orchestrated by the one. Thank you. That's an important message. I appreciate that. Those biblical figures did their thing. They're in the Bible. You can read about it. But they're not here today. We are here today. This is our country. The founders did their part so we could be here, fully be present with our divine direction. Is there fear? Is there doubt? Is there worry? Is there anxiety? Of course there might be some of that here and there. But what's the real power here? Not us. We're not the doer. Moses wasn't the doer. Jesus Christ. People walked. They were dead. They walked. What did he say? They said, look at what you did. Maybe they said something like that. He said, I am not the doer. It is the Father within me who does the work. Those are Jesus Christ's words. He said, if you have faith, he said, if I have faith, Michael, if you have faith, if you had faith, you can move mountains. Jesus Christ walked on water. Peter walked on water. His apostle Peter walked on water. Then Peter got a little psyched out. He started to sink in the water. And Jesus is like, oh, come on. Ye of little faith. He didn't say, I'm special, you're not. Go worship me. Sorry, I got a little emotional there. Because I love the part where Jesus said, the kingdom of heaven is within you, and the truth will set you free. I love it so much. I'm so grateful for that. Thank you, Jesus Christ, for your sacrifice so that we can be in a free nation today and now fulfill our part, which is to have that kind of faith that you demonstrated. Help us remember we also were made in the image of our Creator. And it says it right there in that Bible, too. So I thank you so much. Next up is Robert. We're going to learn about preparedness because we do live in an there's an old, it's a Yiddish curse, I think. It says, I hope you live in interesting times. We do. We do live in interesting times. Now, I don't consider it a curse. I consider it a blessing because we're here for the Great Awakening. We're here for love to really re-enter our souls and re-enter this realm and bring real freedom back. And I'm so excited to be a part of it in my own way. And at the same time, let's think about some practical things as well. Because when the banks change, everything changes, we want to be a little prepared in those ways as well. So we have Robert, who has a lot of experience doing that, actually helped an organization prepare in the 80s for who knows what could happen. So he's had experience preparing for, actually it was nuclear, they were concerned about a nuclear war with Russia at the time. So they prepared, they built bunkers, and they had food supplies, and they did all these things. But that gave some experience. So let's just know how we can just be practical and be prepared for who knows what. Okay? So Robert would like to come up, and it's your turn to share. Yeah, I'll put the mic on a stand.
Well, these papers are being handed out. I'll explain what it is. What this is I call it the Survival Preparations Quiz. I picked it up off of a website by Mike Adams, the health ranger, and I added a few categories to it. He had 10, I got 15. And the reason for this is to provoke thought and consideration of your situation. And when you're evaluating your situation, figure out which are your strong points and where you can be of help to others. Because no matter what happens, if we as a community are together, we can help each other and get through just about anything. Sorry about my voice. It'll warm up. I've got some lemon juice in that. Here we go. Okay, if you look at the list, first thing is maintaining your health. I'm not going to really go into that because I think everybody knows it's a personal thing, and everybody has their own health management and health freedom. Water. Water is a big essential, and no matter what the scenario, whether it be a result of a war, a power outage, could be a nationwide power outage as a result of an EMP or something like that. No matter what, earthquakes or whatever, water is always essential. I talked to we're blessed here in Mount Shasta. I talked to a guy named Mr. Kellogg, who's a public works, and he told me that Mount Shasta's water is all on gravity. It comes from a spring, it runs into a big tank up on the hill, and then it's pressured. And so it's excellent water, and it's all fed by gravity. Now, people who live out in the county, I live out in the county, I've got a well. You have to have a way of retrieving your water from your well. And unfortunately, it takes quite a bit of electricity to run a well pump that's down the hole. So if you don't have that, at least what you should do is you should bottle up some water, fill some of those 5-gallon jugs with water and have it on hand. And another thing, a friend of mine, he's not here today, but a friend of mine's got this hand pump that's on his well. It shares the same casing. The casing's about 6 or 8 inches in diameter. He's got the regular well pipe that brings the water up from the electric pump, and then he's got a hand pump. It's got a pipe that's like a straw that goes down to the water level, and when the power goes out, he just goes out and pumps the water. I think that's pretty cool. So, we're not getting into wilderness survival, otherwise we talk about how you can get water from a stream and purify it, filter it, and different apparatus you can buy. The next one is shelter. And of course, we all need shelter from the elements, whether there's a disaster or not. And this brings to mind in a situation where you might have a radioactive event and there'd be fallout outside. And what you have to do then is put as much mass in between you and the source of the radiation and get as much distance as possible. So in other words, in the middle of this room, you'd be a lot better off than over on the side. And if you've got a house, you might have an interior hallway or something like that that is separated quite a bit. You can hunker down there and listen to the radio. Hopefully you got some kind of radio, and hopefully that there's enough civil authority around that they can give you an idea what the radiation readings would be. Of course, the ultimate thing is to get your own radiation meter and the Geiger counter. There's a brand called the Gamma Scout, which it acts as a Geiger counter and a dosimeter. Dosimeter will measure the total amount of exposure you've had. And the idea behind having some kind of a measuring device is so you don't foolishly hunker down in fear when you could be outside enjoying yourself, or likewise be outside enjoying yourself and you'd be getting a massive dose of radiation. So having a little knowledge is power. Securing your financial assets, gold, land, and cash. Just give yourself 7 points if you're in a good shape there. And I'm going to talk a little bit about food storage. And at the bottom of the page, there's a number of places where you can buy food. BePrepared.com, ReadyWise, Survival Frog, Health Ranger Store. They've got organic. They even sell packaged long-term storage food at Walmart. I understand. Anyway, You can buy these packages that are good for 3 months, 6 months, or a year, and it's all figured out ahead of time, and you don't have to do anything. I don't go that route because I don't, like a lot of people don't eat dairy, and a lot of people don't get along well with beans, and so you might want to customize. So you can go to a place like Azure Standard, and they sell bulk organic grains, beans, and different things like that, and put together your own storage. And if you don't care whether it's organic or not, you might go to, let's see, beprepared.com. And it's called Emergency Essentials. It's a Mormon outfit, and they're up in Salt Lake someplace. And they've got good prices, and they got a huge selection. I especially like their freeze-dried. Their freeze-dried fruits and vegetables has a very long shelf life, and when you rehydrate them, they're delicious. So that brings another subject up, is you should rotate your food as much as you can. And if you can't buy it all at once, you should buy a little every month and store it away. And let's see. You want to have a method of cooking? Hang on to your gas stove. And if you got propane, that's great, because a big propane tank can last a long time to run your stove. Boil water for bucket baths. I lived in the woods for a while, didn't have any electricity. That was my method. I took a bucket of water, stainless steel pot, and put it on the stove. Got it just the right temperature, and then went in the shower and poured the water over my head. It worked pretty good. Community networking, I think, is important, and that is getting to know your neighbors, getting to know your friends, and think about things ahead of time as far as who needs help in a crisis situation, so you can, take turns if necessary, supporting that individual, so that nobody falls through the cracks. So there's a number of other things here. Maybe I should address communications. If you have cell phones, and you can get these solar chargers for your cell phone. And I bought one, and and it's got a little battery pack in the thing. And when you charge it, you put it out in the sun, it actually charges the battery pack. And then you plug your cell phone into that, and it charges it up pretty quickly. And I about 2 weeks ago, I put it out in the sun, and it's been charging my cell phone every night since. So, and they work pretty good. It only costs about $40. And satellite phones, that would be the ultimate, because even if all the cell phone towers got knocked out, there'd still be satellites. And the only problem is you need to be able to talk to somebody who's also has a satellite phone or has a connection to a cell phone tower. And at least shortwave radios are a good thing to have. You can listen to what's going on from great distances. And if you have one that's outfitted properly, you can listen to the ham radio bands, the frequencies that ham radio operators work on. And if you're really into it, you could get a license and get a ham radio and join the local club here in Mount Shasta. Okay, I got a URL right there, and it's a lot of information about preparedness, recommendations. The reason I know about this is because I helped put it together. And it's heartcenter.org, teachings, blogs, blogs, articles, preparedness recommendations, and so forth. If you go to the website, you can find that. And it starts out, though, with a lot of information about spiritual preparations, and then it gets into the physical. And it addresses the subject of water, food, communications, and first aid. I think those are the 4 categories. And I guess the next question is, do I open this up for questions? Anybody have any questions or comments or contributions to this topic? Of course, where we live, we should all have bug-out bags in case of a wildfire. We've been through that drill. Yeah. Well, potassium iodide? Yeah.
For cleaning water, but I'm talking about actual iodine. Oh, okay. So iodine can basically protect you against radiation poisoning.
Protects your thyroid.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
Can save your life.
radioactive iodine has a half-life of 8 days, and so it can be around a while because it takes a long time for it to break down. So there's an opportunity for exposure in the weeks following an event. And if you take potassium iodide, is what you're talking about, they sell little capsules. It floods your thyroid gland with iodine, and it will not absorb, it'll have no reason to absorb the radioactive iodine. So that's how it works.
Thank you for explaining. The other thing that I would keep is zeolite on hand as well. And I can, actually, if you want to grab it, it's in there. I actually brought some. And then that also shows in studies that it helps mitigate the effects of radiation, but also heavy metals and chemicals as well,
Yeah,
and
zeolite's
toxins.
really good for getting rid of heavy metals.
The liquid doesn't work at all, really, if you really do the research, but because it has to do with the structure of the actual cages themselves, the zeolite cages, but I don't want to go into too much detail. We can talk about it in the U group later. But the other thing I want to mention is beets. So you can get beet powder at like grocery outlet for super cheap, just to have that in your emergency arsenal, because beets can also protect your cells from damage from radiation. And when I first started making beet kvass and actually selling it in the stores years and years ago, when I did that, I met a woman from Chernobyl. I was doing a demo, and she said, "Thank you so much for doing what you're doing and putting this product out here, because in my village, the only people who didn't get radiation sickness and cancer were the ones who were drinking beet kvass." Beet kvass. It's a fermented beverage. Anybody can make it. All you need is beets, and you need some kind of a starter. And we can, that's another future. I don't want to get too much into the detail, but I can do a workshop on that. And there were studies done on ducks that were infected with radiation poisoning, the cesium, you probably know, is it cesium-5?
Cesium-137.
Cesium-137. So these ducks, they were all completely sick and contaminated. They gave them beets for 2 weeks straight, and their levels went to normal. So beets have incredible bioregenerative properties. They're known to help with disturbed cellular function, according to Sally Fallon. So she's the president of the Weston A. Price Foundation, PhD. So
amazing.
Amazing stuff. Our bodies are amazing, just the way we can remediate and heal.
I take beet powder every day when I was working out a lot, and it oxygenates your blood, and it helps your muscles as well. And the other thing I would say is those of us with pets, you know, getting ready for the wildfires was making me think, like, so, you know, just think about your pets. You know, do you have a carrier? Do you have a way to keep them safe? You know, do you have backup food for them? That's just something on my mind. I'm just adding that in when we've got other little beings that we're responsible for. So just thinking that out, you know, kibble's not the best thing, or half a cow, you know, in your freezer or something. But think about those guys and what you might need to keep them well and safe, I would say.
Thank you. So how did everybody do on their tests? Did anybody get 100%? Anybody get 50%? All right. Oh, geolocation is where you're located on the earth. And it's not necessarily the coordinates of where you live. It's like, are you living near a big city? Are you in the heart of San Francisco or Los Angeles? Or are you out here in Mount Shasta? See? You see what I mean? So if the civil order breaks down and things start going sideways, where would you rather be? You know? Yeah, Mount Shasta is a good choice.
Amongst your friends on the mountain. And on the mountain, meaning in the city. So we do have a, thank you, Robert. Is there more to go?
No, I can answer more questions or we can go.
Okay. Try this mic out. I think it does.
So Kelly's got one more thing about this. And Kelly's also helping out with the health and wellness U-Pod as well.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to join me in the Wellness U-Pod, there's some more things, tricks up my sleeve as far as what to have on hand, not only for an emergency to keep you healthy, whether it's chemical warfare or whatever, but just to do once a month or twice a month just for the overall onslaught in our food, water, air that our bodies have to deal with, so to keep us on the up and up. But one of the things that was so inspiring that I wanted to say is I learned that after Chernobyl, there was a biodynamic farm. And this one farm, when they did the testing, the radiation testing with those fancy meters that you were talking about, this biodynamic farm had zero, not a trace of radiation, where all the land, really high counts, like just off the charts from Chernobyl. It was a biodynamic farm. A biodynamic farm is just like, it's like if you're eating pure and healthy foods that God created, right? And there's no interruptions with processed foods and all these things that you're not supposed to ingest. You're going to have this diversity in your gut, and it's like a biodynamic farm. It's the same thing in nature is in your gut. We're part of nature. There's no separation. And you've got trillions of these beneficial microbes. And if you're taking care of them, they'll take care of you. And the soil had the same thing. You have quadrillions of beneficial microbes and all these amazing nutrients because of the way the soil was cared for. They don't bring things from the outside in. It's full circle, right? And everything comes back into balance. So we have the same power. Even if we're exposed to all these horrendous things that we're getting exposed to, we always have the power to rebuild and heal. So, yeah, and I'm also doing a workshop at IM University, and there's still some space left if anyone wants to join. And we'll be making elderberry syrup, and I'll show you a little kit that I'm going to be providing for the workshop in the Wellness U-Boat. So it's the 23rd. February 23rd from 6 to 8. Yeah, 6 to 8 p.m. at IM University. It's a Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah, Kelly, that message to me is one of the most important messages in the world right now, which is that there's no limits to how much our body can heal. There's no crossing the line that says we've done too much. When the poisons came in the body through people's choices and they got deceived, that can be healed. All of it, everything can. So thank you for mercy and for helping us choose healing as Americans, whatever our choices have been. Let them be healthy choices from here forward. So we have someone who apparently whose birthday is coming up that same day, coming on stage as well. And we have music. Love it, Terry. And we have music coming now. So Linda is leading, and we're looking forward to some Holy Spirit. We have a meditation. Yeah, we'll go. Okay, and then we have an awesome meditation, and we'll think about what else.
Hey, Linda.
Another thing that we're looking for to help us when we've done everything we can and it doesn't seem to be enough. We're still in this situation where we're fighting for our country, fighting for our freedom. In the Old Testament, 2 Chronicles 7:14 says, "If my people which are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land." And we know in the end times it says that people will say evil is good and good is evil, and I think we are there. It's a little upside down, and we need God's help to bring us back to the nation, to the country, to the world that he created us to be. So that's what this song is. It's a prayer, and I just pray that you'll join in with us today. Oh God, don't turn your face away from me. Here's my heart, oh God. May your love and mercy wash over me. Take your truth and let it be a river of love that flows through me. Take these Let your light shine. Oh, God, oh, Lord. Help us, God. Bring your peace, bring your life, bring your joy to us. We say the knowledge of the Lord will cover the earth as the waters cover the sea. Turn back the tide of evil, turn back the darkness, God. Let your light shine, let your light shine in the darkness. Take your truth and let it be the river of love that flows through me. Take these eyes and let them see the power to heal our land. Come heal our land. Thank you, Lord.
Thank you. A song is a song. A prayer is a prayer. A command is a command. And when the son or daughter gives the command in the name I am through song and through prayer and through praise, and the command is heard, the command is answered. It's God's good pleasure to give us the kingdom. Very good pleasure. And it's our good pleasure to accept. It's our good pleasure to accept. So grateful to accept the kingdom right here and now. We are going to hear little series is coming. It may happen once a month. Right now it's happening once every 2 weeks. So Michael Huffman is receiving inspiration. The divine economy, the divine currency is very important. How are we going to transact when those fiat money systems obviously disappear? What are we going to do? So we're looking at how do we move into the divine economy gracefully. Let's have Michael talk now for a few minutes, 3 minutes or 4 minutes, and then we have a meditation following.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Yeah, we're working on the possibility of a local currency. A beloved Zen master said, "Walk as though your feet are kissing the earth." It's so beautiful. So I would say handle your currency as though you are blessing the sacred essence of all the precious lives that have given it value. Money is not evil per se, for sure, but it creates an intense toroidal vortex between the spiritual world and the physical world that attracts power and powers. Why? Because the people have proclaimed it and ordained it as the symbol of their spiritual energy manifesting in the physical world. Esoteric symbols embellish many currencies in an attempt to remind the people that their acknowledgement of a higher power predicates the value and sustainability of the currency. The spiritual essence of the human being is actually the sovereign essence of God manifest in this world and is the most coveted thing on earth. One can have all the money and the things in this world, but the ultimate, diabolical obsession is to capture and own the spiritual essence of other human beings, because therein lies the pearl of great price, the essence of God. Currency is inescapably the spiritual made physical essence of the people, and is only sustained by the people continually endowing it with their spiritual essence. If that endowment is withdrawn, even gold itself would become worthless as a currency. The unwillingness of people to create and acknowledge their currency as their own spiritual essence paves the certain road to its debasement and their own destruction as a free society. Currency is one of your most powerful expressions of free speech. Never surrender that power. The Vietnam War chant back in the 60s, what if they gave a war and nobody came? Well, what if they proffered on us a rotten currency and nobody acknowledged it? The people have the power. The people have all the power. And especially in this great nation, we patriots are not nationalists as other countries would claim to be nationalists. And they're trying to make the concept of nationalism evil. We should be all inclusive, no borders, and really no values. The American people, the patriotic American people, are patriotic because they acknowledge the sovereign essence of every individual as described in the Declaration of Independence and as it is protected in the Constitution and especially the Bill of Rights. So it is a divine obligation and journey. It's a constant journey for us to protect ourselves against the evil of the world that wants to own our sovereignty. And our currency is one of the purest ways that we can protect our sovereignty. So every time we handle currency, it's inescapably a representation of the willingness of the people to put their faith in it and their essence of their life energy into it. So, very important. Thank you very much. Oh, yeah, sure. As long as it's the accepted currency, and there are divine symbols on it. People can question the all-seeing eye of God, at the top of the pyramid. But some of these symbols have a divine base to them. And the reason they put that in the currencies is they understand that the people have to have a respect for the currency. And so you'll have, like the Queen of England on the British currency, well, the divine right of kings and so on. It all goes back to that they're saying the divine ordainment of these leaders on the currency really is an indirect way of saying the currency is divine in itself. Yeah, Robert.
Can you comment on this digital currency idea? What if they issue it and people don't like it?
Yeah, well, what's that?
Can you repeat the question in the mic so it picks up?
Repeat the question.
Oh, sure, yeah. Yeah, Robert was asking about what my opinion might be of the digital currency. I have 2/10 of a Bitcoin, and when it went up to 60,000, I tried to sell it, but my code didn't work. So basically, I had nothing. So it's out there in cyberland somewhere, and somebody probably will figure out a way to get it. That's one of the risks you have with cyber currency. But it'll work, and Bitcoin has worked, and some nations are going full steam ahead with Bitcoin. And as long as the people accept it, it'll work. But the thing is, if you don't acknowledge it, even digital currency, if you don't acknowledge it as with a reverence that it represents the power and energy of the people, it's going to fail at some point. It's inevitable. That's just human nature. Any other? It's my opinion, anyway. Thank you.
Yeah, I was inspired to bring up this $1 bill too. It has, Jewel took her citizenship test 3 years ago, and one of the questions, or 5 years ago. One of the questions is, who is the father of the nation? And the answer is George Washington. And I believe that is a correct answer. I appreciate that he's on this money right now. We know it's a Federal Reserve note. We know there's world bankers and all their schemes and all their plans. But George Washington is on this currency. And George Washington stood and fought with men that had no clothes, no money, nothing. They were freezing, hiding on a hill almost. But they wouldn't leave the hill. They wouldn't surrender. They stood for what they believed in, and here we are today. And so the dollar bill, we'll talk about symbols someday. It's interesting what you mentioned, the all-seeing eye and all that. I mean, obviously there's a nefarious intent with some people with that symbol. But you're saying not with all. Maybe it has a divine meaning. Maybe there's a higher purpose. Maybe things aren't as bad as they seem. Maybe there's a golden lining under all of this. And maybe we are meant to be that golden lining. So if there is a pyramid, let it be about completion of God's construction. Not mammon, not man's, not schemes, not new world orders, but God's orders. And we're marching sons and daughters. So we're going to have no time today for the U-Pods. We're not going to do them today. We love you. We want you to do them. We're looking forward to Jerry leading the Know Thyself U-Pod. I'm excited about that. If you do want to say something short about that, do you want to say something about the Know Thyself U-Pod right now? Yes, please. The Know Thyself. Why don't you come up here, Jerry? I would like that. Okay, I'll take the mic to you.
Yeah, well, Michael suggested the subject, the topic, and I thought it was lovely. And it kind of went along with a few remarks that I made a few weeks ago when I spoke. It kind of goes along the lines of the kingdom of heaven is within us, and that we have to let go of a lot of other ideas to let that be true. But when we can internalize that and realize it and be it, it changes everything. All of the nastiness that we're living in right now. We can rise above it, we can go through it, and we can blast out of the matrix. We can shoot an arrow right through it and be out of it into that freedom that we have been celebrating today by knowing more and more deeply who we really are and what we really represent. And when we do, that raises an energy, it raises a vibration, it raises our frequency, and when more and more and more of us hold that frequency, the nasty guys can't breathe anymore. We take away their nourishment when we take back who we really are. So that's what I'd like to, explore with other people who are interested in that subject.
What a concept, know thyself. I think that they started thinking about that back in Greece. We know that much, but are we ready? Are we ready now? And this is one for oneness. We are one nation under God. We don't need to break the states away and create 5 nations. It's one nation under God. What's the plan? Trust the plan. This is your state. It's called California. It's a beautiful state. Love it. So, Pastor Mike, do you have some words for us today? Yes, please. We are going to pass, what is it called? It was not a hat. This is called a basket. Sorry. This is called a basket. So we're going to pass the basket. Why are we passing the basket? Well, it cost us about $150. That's why. So if you want to help out, we'd really appreciate it. At the same time, this is an important movement. We don't want to keep taking your money. We know you're giving a lot. So please put some money in the bucket tonight if you can. But let's find some financial sponsorship. This is fun and joyous and necessary. This is a necessary meeting place. So there's going to be some people who want to help us out, I think. All right, Pastor Mike.
I just wanted to talk for just a couple of minutes. Michael and Jewel asked me to talk after we were chatting last night after doing our practice. But talking a little bit more about love and the difference between how a lot of us express love and what we call biblical love, or if you're into the Greek and the multiple types of love, the Greeks talk about agape love, which is what God calls us to with other people. And worldly love is really, honestly, it usually comes from a selfish place. I'm going to love you because I'm going to get something out of it. I will love you because I want you to do something for me, right? Give me something. A lot of times it ends up being, I'm going to love on you because even if it's something as benign as I think that me loving on you will change you, it'll make you be better, a lot of times that's actually a selfish reason because, well, I want you to be better, including to me. Whereas a biblical love, a godly love, it has nothing to do with the results that will come from loving on that person. I am going to love you regardless of how you respond to that love. Regardless of what you're going to do, I'm going to love on you simply because that's who I am called to be. That is what I am called to do in this life, is love on you. Even if you're the most difficult, snotty, rough person in the world, even if you're, the crazy family member that is absolutely opposed to me politically and you'll never change your mind, I'm still going to love on you. I will still extend that love to you. Now, loving you doesn't mean rolling over and affirming that everything that you do is good even when I know that it's wrong, but I can still love you even if you are in opposition to me, right? And Jesus said, love your enemies, the greatest commandments out there. All the law and the prophets, right? That's the Old Testament there. All the law and the prophets are summed up in love God and love your neighbor. And your neighbor includes your enemies. And we love them not because they're going to do something for us, not because it's going to force them to change. We love them because that's who we are called to be. We are called to be God's love in this world. So I just want to encourage you guys all in that. Sometimes we can get really caught up in, well, I guess I'll love on them, but I expect a little something out of it. And that's not where we should be approaching this love from. We love people no matter how hard they are to love. We love them. Dead stop. We love them. Thanks.
Love thy neighbor as thyself. And do we really love ourselves? Do we really love ourselves? Let's help each other love ourselves. It's part of what our community's for. They blow up other nations when they love their neighbor as themselves, when they hate themselves. When they hate themselves. So how can we avoid that pitfall in a tough world? In a tough world, a lot of people need to find some love. So can we find it for ourselves, and then we can share it? In this meditation that I want to help lead today, we're going to take the lights down. And Bodhi, if you'd come up here, Bodhi is a very talented individual. So we are going to have some music in the background. And the reason we're giving this meditation, giving it because you can take a copy home with you. And we have some copies anyway. No? We'll have them next time. I thought we had copies. So I was hoping we had copies. But the purpose of the meditation is to create a practice. We all have different kinds of meditation. This is a very powerful way to start to receive information, direct communication from a living master, Jesus Christ, from your higher self. But really, this is a specific meditation to connect with Jesus Christ, a living master. He rose. He's alive. He's not in it somewhere that somebody's got the white hat, the big fish hat. He's more connected than you are. That's not true. Right here, right now in our heart, a living master, living eternal being. Those who follow him will do the works that he does. So let's meditate. Sit quietly. And generally, we'll try to do this 10 or 15 minutes generally, but today it'll be shorter. So let's sit ourselves comfortably, not disturb any discomfort in our body. Just move around a little bit if we need to. We seal ourselves. Might take some time generally, but right now it's instant. We're sealing ourselves from any imperfect energies. It's receiving a real comfortable connection inside of ourselves. Let's visualize Archangel Michael, his blue flame, his protective field, protecting this church, all who are in it, these people, you, if you'd like, your family. He has angels of 100% light, 100% light. Their only job is to help protect your free will, your divine experience, and your connection, your communication, the Christ within you. Jesus Christ himself. He's had 4 angels surrounding your energetic field, surrounding this church. Many angels. These angels are not short. They're 12 feet tall. They carry swords that burn with a bright blue flame. They are fierce and able to protect you from any forces in this world ever. Now we turn our attention to our personal connection to Christ within. Think about it even above our head. White light above our head. Golden light. In the name of Jesus Christ, we invoke a wall of brilliant white light around our body, mind, and energy field. And accept this energy seals us from all energies of this world. We invoke the freedom flame to burn inside this wall of light and consume all imperfect energies in our own being. Let's feel that flame, that freedom flame burning in and around us, our mind, our emotional body, our soul, understanding of who we are, really feeling the freedom and even the joy of the inner child. Now let's focus on the center of our chest, the height of our physical heart. Visualize there is a flame inside your chest. It's a spiritual flame. There's no need for fuel to burn it. It's an unfed flame. The still small voice within. We focus our attention on this flame, and we allow our attention to enter the flame itself. Just feeling that freedom. And now we notice a door. A door behind the flame. We enter the doorway. You can see yourself going through a nice, well-lit tunnel that only you can go through. Nobody else except for you. Down that tunnel. And yes, there's the proverbial light at the end of the tunnel. So keep moving forward until you emerge from that inner sanctum into the light. You see you have now entered an exquisitely beautiful garden. Guarded by tall hedges, beautiful flower beds and walkways, and a drinking little stream. Walk up the stream, maybe some birds chirping. Feeling of love in the air. At the end of the garden, there is a fountain. Beautiful water coming down. As you move further into the garden, you feel more light and peaceful than ever before. Simply keep walking and allow yourself to feel peace and tranquility of the garden as it absorbs all of your worries and cares. As you feel uplifted and at peace, just take a moment to look around your inner garden. Feel the vibrancy, the light, the life, the sacred sanctum inside of you. As you look around, you see 2 seats carved from stone. Sit down in one of those seats and make yourself comfortable. Then once again, focus your attention on your heart. Close your eyes. Allow yourself to feel you are completely at peace in this beautiful garden. In fact, you somehow feel that it's home. Now imagine you open your eyes and look at the seat in front of you. You can imagine this. To your surprise, you notice someone is sitting in that seat. When you look closer, you realize it is Jesus. Jesus Christ is sitting before you. Allow yourself to get comfortable in his presence. Just take a moment to visualize that. Get comfortable visualizing Jesus Christ there in loving and non-judgmental form there with you. Now focus your attention on his heart and allow yourself to feel that heart radiates unconditional love for you. Give yourself a few moments to accept. He says these words, that I love you unconditionally, says Jesus. Then allow yourself to absorb that unconditional love and feel it consumes everything that is imperfect and unreal. This is indeed the perfect love that casts out all fear and other imperfect emotions. While you are seated in front of him, fully absorbed in his love, allow yourself to think back to your situation on earth and in America. Do not allow yourself to be disturbed by any aspect of that situation. Simply bring your situation into your conscious awareness for a moment. Then look at him again. And in your mind, formulate a question. Do not ask me what to do about your situation, because you must use your free will to choose what to do. Ask me to show you a greater understanding of the situation so that you will know the right solution or answer. After you formulate this question, send it to Jesus. Send it into his heart. He says, send it to me. Close your eyes. Please formulate that question. Send that question into his heart. He's waiting patiently. The question will come. Then close your eyes. Focus your attention on his love in your garden. Focus your attention on his love. Allow yourself to be so absorbed in that love that you forget about all the cares of the world. It's the love coming through. After some time, being absorbed in this love, your attention might naturally drift back to the question. Simply focus your attention on his heart and listen for an answer. He says, focus on my heart and listen for an answer. If you do not receive an immediate answer, be not disturbed. Simply focus on the unconditional love and allow yourself to be absorbed in that love for as long as you like. And we ask to help remember how to do this in our day-to-day. Receive this love. Heal in this love. Great awaken in this love. When you feel you have absorbed all that you can, your cup runneth over. When you feel your heart has become this cup, then visualize that you quietly leave the beautiful garden. You walk back through the tunnel, and you go through the flame in your hearts. You're now seated in the chair in this room. Give yourself a few moments to return back to your normal state of consciousness. Perhaps give another round of affirmations, especially the affirmations. I love you, God. I love you, God. I love you, God. And so it is. Let there be light. And we can always go back into this meditation. We'll be sharing the instructions of this meditation. If you have a question, this is a way to get answers beyond the mind. Living presence is here to help. And they won't tell us the right answer. We need to make the choice. We chose to be here today. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you. The white hat. The white hats are in the house. All right, let's have a clap for this meditation. You, Bodhi. One of my great pleasures is when classical instruments are in these events. I love it. We have wonderful musicians, very talented individuals. You all are here because you have something we need. We need you to share. So thanks for sharing today, Bodhi, and offering. Thanks for offering your gifts. We're going to have the final sealing for today's United We Stand America. Next week, we are taking the week off. 2 weeks will be on a Friday. We're going Saturday, Fridays, because that way, people that can't come on Saturdays can come on Fridays sometimes. And so we're going to have Friday evening, and that will be the U-Pods, and we're going to organize them beforehand, so it can be really well organized. And we really want you to be able to step into some of those and co-create. That's going to be Friday evening at 5:30 in the evening on Friday, 5:30 to 7:30. That's 2 Fridays. I believe it's so okay, let me explain. We are here Friday the 24th at 5:30. Then we're going to do one more along the lines of something like this, where become more and more of a show. You know why? I don't call it a show, but it is a service. but we want people all over the world to become inspired by what you people in Mount Shasta are capable of and who you are and your beautiful hearts. And so we're going to be live broadcasting in 1 month, our next one. I'll be live broadcast and promoted as well. But that's going to be, and that will be March 11th. That's 4 weeks from today, March 11th, and that's going to be the same time, 3 p.m. start. And don't be too late because you might miss the awesome songs at the beginning. Those are awesome. Okay, Jill.
While we're in a meditation state, and because we spoke to Micki today, Micki Babbit, I'd like to offer you from one of our traditions. I can't hold my hand up and touch my heart, but touch your heart with one hand and hold up your hand. And this is a healing stream. And you can send this to anybody, but let's send it to those prisoners of war. They are. And anyone else that you want to call in. And you can say the name out loud if you really need someone to receive this. So you can call out the names right now before we do the prayer. Just anyone you speak into this sanctuary that we've built up. And for all those in Turkey and Syria, and those souls who've left the planet, and those who are without power, and cold and afraid. And I'm going to say the words, and you're going to repeat them after me as a congregation. Life. Health. Happiness. Life. Health. Happiness. Open pathways. Life. Health. Happiness. Open pathways. It is this that we seek for ourselves and for anyone we have named and for those in prison from January 6th and for all our brothers and sisters on earth. It is this that we seek for all we have named, for ourselves, and for the prisoners of January 6th and all political prisoners, and for all our brothers and sisters on earth. And so it is, amen.
Thank you. Yeah, service is key. I love service. I love when we can pray for others. They're going to receive that. So let's continue on that pathway. We're now ready to absorb the candle. Is there anyone that needs to say something before we seal out our beautiful service today together? You want a special blessing, quick thing, anything? Are we good? Okay. Really appreciate each and every one. And let's get the candle absorption. So we'll do that. Actually, let's see. I guess we're going to sing first, actually. Let's be honest here. So let's have the band up for the final song. And the candle first? Okay, so we'll do the candle, like I said, and then move on. And I like, we put the money here on the sacred table. Why? Because of that talk. It's divine energy. It's divine energy, regardless if it's been corrupted by individuals, and it's by our free will, what we choose to do with it. Thank you. So we'll give the freedom and ring the bell. Maybe some angels will get their wings. Who knows? Just feeling this presence of this flame. And an immediate transmission for those who are suffering today, those who feel totally alone, those who don't know where to turn, those who have lost hope. Let there be faith. Let there be kindness, and let there be purpose. Purposeful love and service to life. Thank you. Okay, well, we're going to have our final song, so we might want to all stand up for that and get the band up here. God bless America. Ooh. And then we're going to, at the very end, do the website stuff, Michael. No? Come on.
let's take that prayer that Linda brought today. Hear my cry, O God, from the Psalms. Don't turn your face away from me. It's a beautiful psalm. Go check it out in Chronicles as well. And I have a feeling that a lot more people are going to be making that prayer when they realize they cannot do this with self-will. Very soon there'll be more people in this room. And there'll be more people who want to sing this song. So let's sing it with all our hearts. God bless America. God bless everybody here, and may we take the Holy Spirit that is really felt very strongly today as the veils lift and we can feel that coming upon us, and take that out in our hearts. There's no point to any of this if we don't carry this freedom in our heart out to the next person we meet. And may we shine and just be the presence of that unconditional love that a great master, if he showed up in a stone chair opposite you, would be there in their presence. So we can be that and carry that freedom of our country and our love to everyone we meet in the next few weeks.
Be like him. Thank you, Jewel Faith. Thanks, everybody, for standing up and blessing America and blessing us all. Your voice, your presence. We're going to finish up today with the, what was the first one again? That one, yeah. We're going to give the American's Creed together by William Tyler Page. Sums up some of the best of the Constitution, Declaration of Independence, and the spirit of America, what it really means when that pledge is made by a public servant, and they give the pledge that I'm going to protect the Constitution. That's my job. I'm a school board. I'm going to protect the Constitution. I take a vow. What does it mean? Let's read this together. I believe in the United States of America as a government of the people, by the people, for the people, whose just powers are derived from the consent of the governed, a democracy in a republic, a sovereign nation of many sovereign states, a perfect union, one and inseparable, established upon those principles of freedom, equality, justice, and humanity, for which American patriots sacrificed their lives and fortunes. And we have Liberty's mantra, holding up that freedom flame together. United we stand in liberty's flame. United we march in God's holy name. United we defend the woman and her seed. United we
pledge in the American's Creed. United we stand against foreign and foe. United we challenge the threatening woe. United we carry the banner of light. United we win in the glorious fight.
U.W.S.
America.
U.W.S.
America.
United we stand.
America.
United we stand.
America.
All right, let's wrap it up. Thank you, everybody. What a band. We got Terry, Linda, Jewel, Dave, and Bodhi. All right. Thanks. Okay, and Mike. Thank you, Mike, for doing all you've done back there, up here, talking. Wow. And thank you to the gathering. Sundays, tomorrow, 10 a.m. to noon. There's a service. We try to get it every week. Great service.
We stand.